What's up, YouTube? This Florida cooling guy. Just basically wanted to go over, I don't know what you would call it, a tech tip, some introspection, reflection, whatever. On my way home from a call that had some ducting issues. It was a package unit on a mobile home. Long story short, the return duct was collapsed and it had frozen up. They had it off, so fortunately it was thawed out. Anyway, as I was riding home, it made me think about my time, some old times, back when I used to, I don't know, back when calls weren't always so intuitive, or they weren't intuitive as often. Made me think about airflow and how my first, I don't know, probably 5-6 years as a tech. I know I'm not old looking, I'm not old, I'm 32, but I've been doing this since 2008, you know, almost 11 years. Actually, May was 10 years, so. Anyway, I think I spent a lot of that first 5 or 6 years not worrying about airflow, sort of just sizing things by rule of thumb, and probably screwing up, probably causing recalls for other people, and just, you know, I guess I didn't realize the full impact of what my lack of knowledge of proper airflow, how much of a detriment that was. So, long story short, I can remember training a guy last summer and he's just racking his brain over this package unit. Dude, I don't know what's going on. Pressure's this, amperage that, all these electrical things and all these refrigerant things. And I said, dude, what kind of airflow you got? What do you mean? I'm like, is the filter dirty? Is there any return airflow? Did you check static pressure? And turns out he had a similar kind of issue, return duct issues, and just like the call I just left, I got there and I noticed some of the skirting had been moved, and I was like, what's going on? I asked the guy, I said, you got anybody that's been under the house? Any pets that been under the house? Anything that could have possibly been under the house? Were you under the house? Bro? He says, oh, I had a plumber under there a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, water leak? He's like, yeah. So I go under there, and the rubber, vinyl, whatever vapor barrier holding the insulation up under the house had actually filled up with water so much it was weighing down on the flex like a big old sack of water. Hundreds of gallons of water is just crushing this flex. So we got under there, stabbed it, let the water bleed out. I was able to get the flex out from under the weight. It bounced back pretty good, and the supply was not really under it. It was more the return. I was able to sort of beat it into shape. Anyway, got his return static down from 1.5 inches to about 0.6. My thought is to just go back here in a couple days and make sure the duct has kept its shape and it's not sucking into a vacuum. Anyway, my thought was this, you know, years ago I probably would have been sitting there just checking for freon leaks, because the suction was only 100 pounds, checking for airflow at the fan, not necessarily at the ducting. Anyway, a good manometer, or magnehelic, whatever you want to call it. I use mine all the time. And just knowing how important airflow is, especially with all the issues with ducts being undersized. You can walk up to a brand new unit here in Florida and it can be on ducting that's the size of a unit, half of the size of the one you're working on, and it's just incredible. Generally small returns, generally relatively effective supply ducting, but it's usually return sizing problems. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling. Just wanted to emphasize, in case you're new in the field, do yourself a favor, don't do what I did. Learn airflow. Learn how to use a ductulator, a manometer, magnehelic, velocity meter, volume meter, whatever you want to call it, and use them often. You'll find problems that you that it just saves you time. You take a reading, oh my God, the pressure's super high. You know right then and there, duct issue. You're done looking at mechanical stuff because you just go on to duct issues, airflow issues. Anyway, that's all I got. Have a good night.